You have access to plenty of programming from people, like Campbell Media, my company, independent producers of content. And if you want content for your streaming services, you can always buy it under arm's length. So this combination of tech company and creative companies, being, one buying the other, not obvious to me that that's going to happen at scale. It very well might, but it really might not also.
One CEO who has...
Oh, wow. This is great.
To our next guest, top bond strategist, warning that the mega cap rally may be on borrowed time. He cites demand issues tied to tomorrow's 10-year Treasury note auction. Ben Emmons is the head of fixed income and a senior portfolio manager at New Edge Wealth. Ben, welcome. Talk us through this auction that is coming tomorrow on the 10 years. What you expect to see? There's going to be a lot of supply in the pipeline. Where's demand?
Yeah, that's a big question, Tyler. If we know that China and Japan and other foreign investors have been not active in those auctions anymore for the last sort of 2 years, and now the banks too are not as active anymore. They continue to sell treasuries. So who's going to step in here to buy it? If I was us, like the private sector or mutual funds, now we've been down in yield now by over 55 basis points over the past week, so there's a pretty good move. And to Steve's point, there probably was a lot of short covering. There was news out that right before the Treasury announced the supply, the hedge funds took even more short positions than before, and right as that supply number came out, all the covering probably has happened. So the setup for tomorrow is not that great, and the demand is unclear. So I think it's going to be a challenging option.
So I think I heard Steve just say that you think rates are going to be lower, right, 4 months from now.
Well, when you watch this video right here, this is one of the reasons why I'm probably at the top of the game or whatever. I don't do those things. If you had to base things off this video right here, it will be a major setback. And then you clearly see, like I just said, how I'm just different. The reason why they're making this video is because there was another video that came out, and oh boy, he was on there, he was killing it. I mean, he was just killing it. Then he caught himself and then thought about it. Oh shit, I'm fucking up. And then he cut the video. I was sitting there looking at him the whole time. I was like, wow, that makes no sense. But he thought he was killing it, which ranks for this video.
All 5 months from now, do you see it that way or not?
It could be. I mean, we have an economy that's on 5% slowing down in this quarter, and if that continues, ultimately rates should adjust to that path of growth down. I don't think, though, that we're going to go all the way back to 3%. I mean, for that, you have to see inflation really start to decline. That has not yet been the case, and that's what we know from the Fed, too. They're hesitant to pull the trigger yet on any kind of rate cut. So I think we...
Yeah, that video. They had to clean it up, man, because, oh boy, he thought he was doing it. But they had to make that video, man, because that was not good at all. And he had a lot of followers and all of that stuff, man. It just wasn't looking good. But I stepped in and I cleaned them up. The president got to come out and do the same goddamn. Here we go.
John Roberts, co-anchor of America Reports on Fox News. Was in Israel. He's back home in Washington, safe and sound. John, thank you for doing this. John, on a slightly different subject, but still the war, I guess 40 or 42 hits later on American military assets.
If you notice, you've been watching news lately, motherfuckers, if you notice, they really just ain't acting the same. It's because, when I step into the room or whatever that is, they got to change. They got to make adjustments, man. It just ain't the same.
In the Middle East, I'm going to characterize them as Iranian or Iranian proxy hits. What exactly has the United States done?
Oh yeah. If you watch this, if you're listening to this video and you're not used to the voice or whatever, go get the voice box thing that you're used to and do it with this voice right here. And then you will clearly see what's going on. And then come right back, but continue this video.
Iran or anybody else accountable. They keep talking about accountability, John. Where is the account? What have they done?
I don't think there's much on the accountability front. There is a lot on the deterrence front, though. I mean, we've got an awful lot of firepower in the Eastern Mediterranean.
They got a whole lot of firepower, y'all. They out here on some Ace Ventura type. They gotta get used to this.
Now we've got the Eisenhower battle group going into the Persian Gulf, and the Pentagon, CENTCOM, took the rare step of actually showing the world where one of its Ohio-class boomer nuclear-powered submarines is. That's usually the most top of top secret where those subs are, because we don't want our adversaries to know where those subs are operating in case they are needed at a moment's notice. But in terms of holding Iran to account, all we've done so far is we bombed a storage shed and some other munitions depot deep in the heart of Syria. But in terms of even tough rhetoric toward Iran, this administration keeps saying don't, which, Larry, is something I say to our dog when he tries to take a sock out of the lawn. But at the same time, we hear Iran's defense minister saying that if the United States doesn't call a ceasefire.
Well, see, that's the difference between me. That's the difference between me and a whole lot of these other people you're talking about. You know, I can understand why people don't want me to do these things. I'm gonna get to a whole lot of other people, but anybody that, I mean, if you want me to do your video so you can see how bad you're doing, just let me know. This is great. I mean, but you know, I'm just not getting started. A lot of people, you gotta get used to this stuff. I mean, it'll clear up a whole lot of stuff, you know. You gotta get used to it.
Iran is going to hit it very hard, or will get hit very hard. So
Yes, you
I'm
will.
not quite sure where the reciprocal language is, but you know, in the past administration, you were there was a lot of tough language toward Iran, and Iran backed off.
You know, I grew up in the Reagan administration a long time ago. The Gipper used very, very tough language. And you're right, in the Trump administration, President Trump and others, you know, Pompeo and others.
Yeah, but this is politics, though. You know, politics is where you get to speak your mind. Just like those scripted people that come on TV and say the same thing over and over, full of emotions and what?
Use tough language. Bolton used tough language, etc. It wasn't my bailiwick, but it was the national security bailiwick. I'm just astonished at how little. I mean, you're right about the firepower. My goodness, you're totally right. And I'm sure that even Iran and the crazies understand that. But
I'm just saying, though, y'all gonna have to get used to this, because I told y'all about the power of the stoppage. You know, you can just stop it, and I just say what I say, and then when y'all come, when I let y'all talk again.
No, you're supposed to send messages. You're supposed to send signals. And I know it's not exactly the same, but look, Trump bombed the Syrian airport while having chocolate cake with Xi Jinping in Mar-a-Lago, and took out.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, he took out Soleimani and so forth. Those by themselves may not have turned the tide, but they sent a message, John. And I just, every day, Mr. Kirby, I'm not being, I mean, I don't know, Kirby.
That's what I'm saying, man. I was gonna change all of this, because whatever y'all talking about, or whoever y'all talking about, they got the whole thing wrong. You know, whatever they're talking about, they on some retaliation. How you retaliate on some retaliation type stuff? I don't do that. I just do me. That's what I'm saying on this video. When y'all get this, y'all, you know what I mean? It's going to be a whole lot of retaliation. But when you get both sides of the story, you're going to be like, what are they talking?
Okay, it's not personal. I'm just saying, every day I hear Mr. Kirby talk about holding them accountable, and every day I see the Iranian terrorist proxies.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Every day, maybe every day, I'm going to come out and clear all of this stuff up. And no, it's not personal. It's politics. You got the wrong piece. Personal politics is politics. The problem was a whole lot of personal stuff was going on. And as you can see, anybody that was listening for the past like 24 hours, it wasn't really that personal. Because it was hard to be personal. I understand why.
Lobbing missiles or drones at our American military assets. I don't get it.
It's not working.
Again, there's a lot of implied threat there, but I don't think that there is a tremendous amount of actual threat there. And if you listen to the Iranian leadership talk about it, they're really thumbing their nose at Biden. They don't think that he would actually pull the trigger on anything substantive. And if he's not prepared to do what Trump did, take a Qasem Soleimani, which, as you know, Larry, shocked the hell out of the Iranians. They never thought that was going to happen. Then the Iranians will continue to think, okay, so you've got a big military and you've got a lot of boats in the region, but you're not actually going to use them for anything that's going to hurt us. So it's a bit of a game of cat and mouse, right?
See, that's what I was just saying. What I was just telling y'all, everybody. You remember how personal it was and retaliation? It just, when I step into the room, whatever that is, it changed. You know, I don't want to be personal no more. You're not going to hear any personal stuff tomorrow. It ain't. Or if you do hear something personal, it'll be something old. Like, this is not the time, because I don't play that. I don't. I'm a comedian type person. I like to have fun. All that personal stuff, that's going to make me stop the video and, all right.
Yeah, but I think Iran knows that this president is playing that. I think Biden is just really afraid of pushing something in a certain direction, which.
Well, the president's not really worried about a lot of things because, we got, what, about a year? I'll just ride it out, you know what I mean? Unless he planning on getting reelected. Other than that, if I was him, I'd just ride it out. I've done nothing the whole time, and now I got a year left, and...
Triggers then a regional set of dominoes that fall, and you've got a conflagration. He's hoping that with the posture and the way that Israel is conducting the war and enough attention on getting humanitarian aid into Gaza, that he can keep a lid on things. He can keep Hezbollah out. He can really keep Iran out to the most part, and then keep a lid on this thing. But as you know well, history has proven that in whether...
I was just talking about that history, 10 years, whatever, 10-year yield, whatever. I'm just going to change all of that. I feel as though I just want to change things. He talking about keeping a lid on things. I don't know what that means, y'all. Maybe y'all do. I don't know.
It's Ronald Reagan or whether it's Donald Trump or whether it's George Bush talking tough to the Iranians and saying, if you do this...
All right, see, enough. He's starting to raise his voice. And what I told y'all about the power of the stoppage. I'm a comedian. I like to have fun. And it's no retaliation. But anyway, I'm about to end this video so y'all can review it. And we're going to get more into this because he just raised his voice. And yeah, we'll get back into it. You know what I'm saying?